Time now for a look at the day's press with Deeptika Laurent, who joins me on set for the press review. Hi, Deepti.
Hi, Peter.
So you're going to tell us first about the general elections in Japan this weekend.
Yeah, that's right. The incumbent ultra-conservative Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi is, she did call these elections the snap general elections. The Japan Times here focusing on this party here today, the Komeiti Party. It actually ended its 26-year coalition with the ruling LDP last year over corruption allegations, and Takaichi's commitment to reform this election will be played in part, at least in terms of who gets those precious votes, the Japan Times says. This was on the front of Japan Today, another English language Japanese press outlet. It was focusing on Donald Trump's endorsement of Takaichi before the election and his announcement of her upcoming visit to Washington that will take place next month. And in the same publication today, it looks at some hot button issues in the election. There'll be issues around foreign residence caps and nuclear policy. Now, Japan Today explains that Takaichi is a security hawk and is expected to update key defense and security documents in the face of growing threats to Japan's security, an assertive China and nuclear power, but also North Korean missiles and nuclear threats. Now, her party has advocated the sharing of nuclear-powered submarines with the U.S. and seeks to deepen that alliance if they win this weekend's election.
What's the international press saying then?
Well, a lot of focus on Takaichi herself. This is from the Times of London, which focuses on her charisma as a leader. The Times are saying here that the electoral campaign is one of the shortest in Japan's history. It only took place just about 2 weeks long and has generated little debate around actual policy. Instead, it has, I quote, become a pageant of celebration for Takaichi, who became Japan's first female prime minister last October when her party had an election. The Guardian also in the same vein documenting what it calls Sana-mania that's gripped Japan as the ultra-conservative Takaichi is expected to secure an election landslide. The paper explaining that voters are obsessed with everything about her, from her choice of outfits to her train journey snacks, to the pink pen she uses to take notes in Parliament. Despite a very conservative outlook, she's actually very popular, or at least popular among young voters who, because of the fact that she leans into her feminism and she's played on what she is not, I quote, a hereditary male politician.
Now, moving on to the French press, obviously a lot of news about Jeffrey Epstein, especially on the front page of Libération. They've gone with some new information.
Yeah, that's right. Libération honing its focus today on an enigmatic woman in its pages here, Karyna Shuliak. She's a Belarusian, played a successor role to Ghislaine Maxwell, the woman who really facilitated a lot of Jeffrey Epstein's criminal activities. Shuliak is was featured prominently in Epstein's will. She was his girlfriend, allegedly at the time of his death, and reportedly the last person with whom he spoke. He had actually bequeathed his luxurious Parisian apartment to her, as well as diamonds. And her sort of entry into the Epstein world was quite unusual. She rebuffed his advances and refused to become one of his victims, instead becoming a main administrator in his pedophilic activities, of which she has denied a role. Shuliak, for the moment, has not been convicted for any of her part in Epstein's criminal activities.
Intriguing. Let's turn to the back pages now and talk about the Winter Olympics.
Yeah, a lot of excitement, Peter, on the front pages today. This is from L'Équipe, the French sports paper, talking about the great big show in the cold that kicks off today. The Winter Olympics do begin with the opening ceremony. France will be hoping to beat its record of 15 medals. This is from the Italian papers, hailing the beginning of the games. La Stampa says, while Der Tagesspiegel, the German paper, quite giddy ahead of what it says will be fun games and excitement over the next fortnight. Now, as you might know, some sports have already begun some of their events, notably curling. And actually this year, the son of a Swiss curling couple, Bria Schwaller-Hulleman and Yannick Schwaller, he actually stole the show. Here he is trying his hand at curling with the broom there, Peter, and going viral in the process. Very cute.
He's doing better than I could do, I'm sure. You've got a photography competition to tell us about now.
Yeah, that's right. We can end on this now. This competition is the close-up photography competition of the year. It's in its 7th year, and this year they received over 12,000 entries from 63 countries dedicated to micro, macro, and close-up photography. Australian photographer Russ Gudgeon won the grand prize with this photo, an extreme close-up of the inside of a cauliflower soft coral in Indonesia.
Wow.
It's very beautiful, but there are a lot of other wonderful entries too, Peter. This is the insects winner, as you see here, the Danube mayflies, a sort of invasion of these mayflies. You also have this one here, which is a young photographer of the world. This is actually the inside of a stingless beehive in India, taken by a very young photographer, budding photographer. This here won the category for animals. It's really beautiful. It's actually the inside of a Malagasy frog egg clutch, and I think what you see there are tadpoles. This one won the best of the animal category, and in the invertebrate category, this very cute picture of a moth entitled Good Boy.
Good boy, we like that. He needs a pat on the head.
Yeah.
For that good boy.
If you can reach
without
him.
crushing him.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. That was the press review with Deeptika Laurent.